Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for another day text. Today is Thursday, May 23rd. We meet every weekday morning unless otherwise scheduled, as well as Saturday mornings to consider a portion of the biblical record. We work our way through the various books and letters of the biblical documents, as well as other related texts and histories. Anything we can find that involves the God Jah pertains to Jesus, the one whom we believe is the biblical Messiah, and how we can treat others the way we want to be treated. That's what we're interested in. That's what we promote. Those are our three main beliefs. And so we read through these texts and try to get from them a good understanding of the historical context in which they were written, to better understand the things they wrote about and had to deal with, and then apply them to our day to day. So, we're in the letter of 1 John, what is known as the first letter of John, the beloved disciple or student of Jesus, who also wrote a complete history of his life, the great message or gospel of John. Good morning, everyone. So, he also wrote what are listed as 3 letters near the end of the New Testament books. And we're working our way through the first of those letters. So we're in chapter 2, and today we're going to be reading verses 18 through 21. And then I'll make a brief application, give a few updates about this weekend show, and also about my new channel, Property Insurance Claims Fraud Review, and some of the things I'll be doing there. Okay, let's get to the text. 1 John chapter 2, verse 18. Sometimes I'll stop and make a comment about individual verses or parts of the verse. Other times I'll read straight through and then we'll go back through and review the texts. So starting in verse 18, children, it is a critical time. And just as you heard, one who is opposed to the Christ or an Antichrist is coming. Even now, there are many antichrists who have come about. That is how we know it is a critical time. Verse 19, these antichrists come out from us, but they were not truly part of our group. For if they were truly part of our group, they would have stayed with us. However, this was so they might be exposed, because they are all no longer with us. Verse 20, but you have a chosen condition from the Holy One, and you have come to know all things. This is an important little part here. It's not the most important part of our text groupings, but you notice here in verse 20 that he's speaking to the people, the Christians, and says they know all things. Sometimes Trinitarians and others will use texts where Jesus, or others say Jesus knows all things, even though Jesus says he doesn't know all things, right? Says only the Father knows the day and hour of his coming. But here, it's the way the Bible writers often speak with all-inclusive statements, even though we know there are exceptions. So he says they know all things. Well, we know they don't know all things, right? Every single thing that there is to know. He's speaking contextually with respect to the things that he is talking to them about as it concerns the Christ and Antichrist. Okay, so verse 21, the reason I've not written to you is not because you are unaware of the truth, right? He just told them in verse 20 that they have come to know all things. So that's clearly not what he's worried about. That is what they know. Rather, he says in the middle of verse 21, the second part, rather, it is because you have come to know the truth, and that every lie is not from the truth. So he's writing to the people who know all things, verse 20, at least contextually, and they're aware of the truth. But John is still worried because he knows the antichrists are there. They're active and interfering with the Christians, whether Jewish or Roman or Greek. They were causing a lot of trouble at this time in the 1st century or near the 2nd century. So the Christians had to face a great deal of persecution. Even if you notice in Pliny's letter to Trajan, written, a decade or so after the start of the second century, probably a decade and a half or so after John wrote this letter. Pliny's letter to Trajan talks about how the Christians had to endure tremendous persecution just through the interrogation process and admitting that they followed the Christ versus the Roman gods. So this was something they were dealing with quite a bit for a long time until things changed politically and otherwise over the course of a couple centuries. But the persecution that the early Christians faced was tremendous. We know the persecution under Nero, Domitian, and others that John likely also experienced and may even be writing about with respect to this text. So, Antichrists, they're all over today, right? I mean, I don't know if you could listen to a song or watch a movie or a TV show and not see an upside down cross or various representations of Jesus, like they like to pose in the Jesus pose with the arms out and someone being killed. So they mock him all the time. They're just mocking him all the way to their destruction. Even if you don't believe in Jesus, right? Even if you don't believe Jesus is the Messiah, what good is it going to do you to mock him and oppose him when all he did was treat that we should deal with others the way we want to be treated? And so they attack him because they just don't want to follow that way. They don't want to treat others the way they want to be treated. That would go against everything they've set up. Just like you see in my property claims fraud review channel. They're not trying to help people with fraud. They're trying to hurt people with fraud. No, they'll lie to themselves and help their own family and fellow criminals. But that's not helping anyone. That's hurting them by setting a bad example to show them how to commit crime and be punished the same way you are. These fathers and other people who are criminals and they lie to their own kids. Oh, they mislead all these people just so they can be viewed as something they're not. It's the ultimate vanity. Whereas with us, we are who we are. Good and bad, and we don't pretend one way or the other. We just try to do our best and do things right and promote the truth, not lies. That's all some of these people do is lie because they can't deal with the truth. You think a liar can deal with the truth when they're trying to steal your money? They're going to lie to you in every way they can think of to get you to do what they want you to do and then steal your money. Just like with the fraud people that I'm dealing with in other respects. But religious people do it too. I've had to deal with people who falsely pretended they wanted to be a part of my group, only to come into my forum and channel to either mislead people or try to promote funding for other people. Again, just everything opposite of what we're supposed to do. That's what they started to do because it was all about them. And it's all about money to them or prominence. There's no prominence here. I'm well known and people may listen to me because I'm just active. But there's no prominence here. We're doing what we were supposed to do. This is not special. This is what you're supposed to do to the extent that you're able. And I'm happy to be able to do that. But it's not special. In fact, I feel like I should be doing a lot more. But I realize I can't just get down on myself because I can't do everything I want in a spiritually uplifting way. I have to deal with the world. And I have to deal with my own imperfections. And I have to keep going and doing the things that I believe are true for the reasons that I've been presenting to you. Not because I just want it to be true or hope it's true and I have some benefit I'm getting on the side. There's no benefit other than the praise I give to Jah and the resulting blessing that may come from it. But I'm in conflict regularly because of these things. Whether it's in a secular sense, family sense, all these extended criminals and liars who I have to deal with all the time, but who know I don't play their fraud games. It's every day for me. So It's a good position and prominent in the sense that we're praising Jah. That's a good thing, right? I mean, that's in the right sense a prominent thing to do. But the world does not value that. They're full of antichrists. They don't care. You start proclaiming Jesus and talking about Jah and the Bible. Oh man, they don't want to hear that. They'll be out of there most of the time. Just look at the entertainment. Look at the TV. It's just pretty much garbage, right? I mean, it's everywhere you look. There's these symbols, death, murder. I mean, you have James Gunn's new movie coming out, Brightburn. I did a garbage dump on that. You can see in the comments a lot of people defending it, but it's a piece of trash. If you've checked the leaks out or just seen the trailers, I mean, this guy James Gunn is someone who just got busted for bad child abuse pedo tweets, and then went to a pedo-themed party, never condemned pedophilia or child abuse, and now he's got a murderous young child as a superhero in a movie. Oh man, these people are disgusting and sick in every way. So try to avoid them. These are antichrists. It doesn't matter if they're wearing upside down cross earrings or a stupid Illuminati shirt, whatever. Stay away from these people. They're promoting garbage. They're promoting a trashy way of life that is meant to demean you, to get you to use your body the opposite way, to support crime. Is that what you want to do? That's what you want to spend your life doing? Abusing your body and someone else's and stealing their money? Just how well do you think you're going to end living like that? So stay away from these people. Some people don't have a chance because they're born into families of people who are criminals, who lie to them all the time, so they don't know really what's going on. But, you know, everyone finds out eventually. Nothing hidden. Everything hidden, I should say, is for the purpose of being exposed. Jesus' words, and I believe he knows. So, criminals and liars and antichrists can do all they want. They get that right. Jah gives them that option. And then they're going to answer for it. So let them have it. Leave them be. If they don't want to be around you, if they don't want to promote Jah and Christianity and the right way to live by treating others the way they want to be treated. See, they can't do that, right? How can they treat others the way they want to be treated when they're lying and stealing all the time? They don't want to be treated like that. They want to treat you like that. And then they want you to treat them right. See? So we need to be careful that we don't get involved with people who are just piles of garbage walking around. They don't care. They're there to make you filthy and to stain you and to take your money. That's it. They have nothing to offer you. They're just lying to you to take everything you're offering to them, thinking that they're actually someone decent. Because they know they can take advantage of us because we want to help people. We just don't want to help liars, cheats, and thieves commit their crimes. So with that in mind, we need to be cautious. We're aware of the truth. We're not unaware, just like the people John was writing to here. But we need to expose the people who are standing in opposition to the Christ. It says right there in verse 19, this is so they might be exposed. Our group is Christianity. And of course, we have a subgroup within that so that we can focus on the three things and not get caught up in all this other stuff. But our group is Christianity, and people who oppose the Christ, we should have nothing to do with. Let them be. They're going nowhere, and they will get nothing. They can have what they have now. Give it to them, because it's all going to be taken away. And at the end, they won't want it. So we need to focus on Jah, do the things that we can see in Jesus that we need to also accomplish as part of our ministry. Help other people who are truly in need, not these lying criminals who infiltrate companies, abuse families, abuse their own body, and only want to use you so they can take as much as they can before they have to give it all back. The terrible way to live. Try to avoid it at all costs. Stay focused on Jah and Jesus. And you'll not only be happy now, you just might be happy well into the future. So, some good information for us to consider. And I will be back tomorrow for another day text, Saturday as well, unless something comes up. Sunday, we're going to do open session number 5. And we'll be talking about a variety of different things. I'll start the show off with a couple subjects and then, of course, leave it open to everybody else. And then we'll discuss things as they come up. So I've got other videos I'm working on, garbage dumps, other things. I'm going to be populating the property insurance claims fraud review channel with videos because these people continue to act in ways that are damaging society, damaging families, and they continue to damage me. It's nonstop. So I'm going to take direct aim at them, and I'm not going to stop until they're finished and or they're no longer able to do what they're doing because they're damaging too many people. They're arrogant to the point now where they're getting involved in people's lives and investigating people who don't commit fraud and then trying to damage their families. So I'm going straight at these people, and I'm taking every single one of them I can down. All of their operations, all their crime, finished. If I have anything to say about it with Jah's strength and will. So be prepared. There's a lot that's going to happen, and I'm giving you an advanced warning so you understand these things when they occur. These people are sick and disgusting, and the only thing they care about is stealing, lying, and cheating and opposing Christianity. And they've involved themselves with me to the point now where I'm going to involve myself with them. They might as well move me into their home. That's how close I'm going to be to them from now on. In every single thing they do, all their fraudulent activity and criminal behavior. Enjoy. I hate to have to do it, but I have to do it because it's things I hate and it's evil. We hate evil. We hate wickedness. People who hurt other people. I hate that. It's not about hating something good. It's about hating an evil person, an evil group of wicked criminals who, if you don't do something, they're going to do something to you. That's who we're dealing with in a secular sense and in a religious sense. They're all part of the same thing because they're all opposing Christianity with their fraud and crime and lies and this stupid, idiotic Illuminati symbolism that's more retarded than I can even describe. I mean, so if you're a part of that kind of dumb group and you think an all-seeing eye on top of a pyramid is going to give you power to defeat Jah, you're ridiculous. Get ready to lose and lose terribly. Every single thing you have. Just like the Pharaoh who didn't listen to Jah when he sent Moses.